Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Sunshine Zee and I welcome you if it's your first time. If it's not, welcome back, and to the real ones, the subscribers, I appreciate you as always, and I truly mean it. I know I say this every time, but it really does mean a lot to me that you have chosen to subscribe to this channel, and I hope to give you more and more of this content. So let's get into today's video. Before I forget, actually, happy new month. It is the month of October, and my wish for you for this month is that you would get the good news that you've been waiting for a long time. In particular, those dreams that you don't tell anybody about. I really hope that something starts happening there, and may you get the news that you've been hoping for and everything that you desire. That's my wish for you this month. On this week's episode, it's the backdrop of last week's episode, which was talking about we spoke about evaluating and reviewing your goals, and this week we'll be speaking about something called Financial Self-Care Day. I know, like, how much self-care can you actually do, right? Well, personally, I love self-care and I'm a big believer in it. For the most part, it's more in theory that I believe in it. I do try to practice it as much as I possibly can, and I love the idea behind it, and you know, I hope to do more, and that's why I thought I should share this concept with you. So I came across this concept a couple of months ago. I was attending an online seminar on Teachable. It's an online platform where people can just sell all sorts of courses. I know, once again, I'm selling this for free, but I'll link it down below and you can check it out. So they had a free seminar. I believe this was in March of this year. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, around that time, March or April of this year. And one of the sessions I was attending, this person spoke about this concept of Financial Self-Care Day. I was quite intrigued because as a finance person, you know, obviously it piqued my interest, and I was intrigued because of the self-care part. As mentioned, I'm a big believer in self-care, so I was like, okay, what is this about? And I actually shared it on my WhatsApp status, and somebody responded saying I thought it was totally different, and how they interpreted it was something that is not what it is. So I don't know what you will think of what it is. I'll explain it just now. Financial Self-Care Day is essentially just a day that you pick. It's not going to be for the whole day unless you have a lot of things, but it's just a day that you choose to sit down and review anything and everything related to your finances. So this is the day that you will sit down and review your budgets, review your investments, review your savings. Are you earning any interest? Could you be earning interest elsewhere? Things like that, right? So I think the first thing that you're likely to do on this particular day, which hopefully is either once a month or once a quarter or once every half year, which I think it would depend on what it is exactly that you are reviewing. Budgets, ideally you should be reviewing every month, once a month. So once a month, have an hour or so to sit down and review your budget. A pro tip is that you cannot just have a budget, right? In terms of just the budgeted amounts. So for example, if you are spending 1,000 on groceries, or you are budgeting 1,000 on groceries, at the end of the month or after your grocery run, you need to come back and fill in your actuals. You have to have actuals. You can't just have budgeted amounts without actually coming back and saying, but this is how much I actually spent. so that you can be a bit more realistic. As you know, things prices are changing continuously, so that you can have a more realistic budget in the next month, right? If you do want me to do a video on budgeting and actually walk you through the steps of a proper budget, a personal budget, I can do that. However, it could be a bit of work. The way I imagine it in my mind is that I would actually have to screen record and show you Excel files and things like that. So before I can do that, I just need to know if it's something that you might need. So please do comment down below and let me know if I should do a video on budgeting. And I'll only do a video on budgeting if 5 different people say that they would like me to do it. So it can't just be one person. If 5 different people say they want me to do a video on budgeting, I will gladly do so. So let me know. So moving right along with the financial self-care day, as mentioned, you sit down with anything that is related to your finances. So your investments. What are your investments looking like? Now, if you're not somebody who checks on these things regularly, I would highly recommend that at least also once a month you need to go in and check on how that's going. You know, whatever it might be, whatever kind of investment it might be, please check on those things regularly as you possibly can. For example, if you have a rental property, on financial self-care day, that's when you review and see how is the tenant paying, are there any increases in the municipal rates and levies and things like that. You know, have they gone up? Don't be the kind of person who's just very negligent with your finances. I think this is very, very important, and I mentioned it also in my video on fraud, that it is amazing that people do not scrutinize the figures. And I'm not talking about like daily obsessing, but like I'm saying, just once a month, go through your bank statements, scrutinize the amounts, look through the debit orders, or even just the money coming in. You know, is the tenant shortchanging you on like $100 or something like that, right? And I know people think, I'm too busy for that, I don't have the time. But realistically speaking, if you're serious about your finances and if you want to accumulate more finances in your life, you need to take it seriously. And it goes down to taking even a single cent very seriously, because I think you all know there's a scandal with how one bank was taking 1 cent from every account, and they made millions, probably even billions, from just taking 1 cent, right? So even up to a cent, you need to scrutinize the figures. And like I said, it doesn't have to be every day, but look at the amounts, look at what makes sense. Sometimes you might discover that, you know what, if I shop at a particular grocery store, I'm spending a lot of money. But if I shop at a different grocery store, or for example, another pro tip, don't go grocery shopping on an empty stomach. I learned this the hard way, and I didn't realize that, you know, most times when I would go grocery shopping, sometimes I'd be hungry, and you end up just taking all sorts of things, and you get home, you eat. So, and once you're satiated, you realize, wait a minute, why did I even buy this? So a pro tip is to always have even just a snack, but something, so that you're not buying using emotions, right? As mentioned, please also try and go through your savings accounts and make sure that you are earning the interest that you were promised. You know, because sometimes you might be putting away your money, but you find that the account that you've put it in is actually eating away at your money instead of earning you interest. So it's another thing that I think a lot of people are ignorant about. They think that just because I'm saving money, that's a good thing. No, yes, no, yes. Yes, it's a good thing that you are saving and putting away some of your money. However, if that money is decreasing, so if you put in 100 rands and by next month it's 98 rands, then something is wrong. Then you probably should look at other options, because perhaps the charges of keeping the money in there are not worth it. They are eating at your money, and that's how banks make their money, right? I don't even want to go into that, but please just make sure that you are at least earning. So if you put in 100 rands, even if it's 2 rands that you get, it's something, right? Because perhaps there's also charges, so perhaps you earn 5 rands of interest and there was 3 rands worth of charges, things like that. Look out for the best possible product that you can find. Perhaps even consider tax-free investment saving accounts, things like that. Do your research and find out more. Don't be scared of asking questions. Perhaps it's not the best to ask questions at the bank, because they'll probably try and sell you on the product, but there is a lot of information out there that you can find out, so that you're not just putting away your money, but your money is actually earning interest while you leave it there for a period of time. Another thing that you should be looking out for on this particular day, and perhaps this is not something that you will do monthly, but perhaps something on a half-yearly basis, is to also look into your policies. What policies do you have? What are you covered for? What are you not covered for? And this is an important one, because most times we are sold policies by somebody who's trying to make a sale. So that's something that you need to think about. This person's salary depends on whether I sign up or not. So perhaps they're not the best people to talk to. As I said earlier, even the banks might not necessarily be the best people to talk to, because they want you as a customer, they want you to sign up. But I think before you even sign up, so if you're in a position where you haven't signed up for anything as yet, whatever somebody's trying to sell you, scrutinize the information, read those documents. I know there's a lot of documents, but you need to find out, what is it that I am covered for? Because you would hate it if something were to happen and you realize, oh, wait a minute, I'm only covered for critical illness if it's cancer, but if it's something else, then I'm not covered. Things like that. And I think that these companies, honestly speaking, that's where they try and catch you out, because obviously they're in a business, they're running a business, right? They are there to make money. They don't want to be paying out money. So look at all of those sort of loopholes. If you already do have policies in place, I would like to challenge you on your first, or maybe at your next financial self-care day, look through those policies, look at what it is that you might change, because they don't mind if you go back and say, you know what, I'd like to change this. I've realized that I'm covered for this and I'm not covered for that. Also, please note that there is such a thing as being overly insured, but I'm not going to go into that in this particular video. All I'm trying to say is that you need to take some time out every now and again. For the budgets, I would recommend monthly, and scrutinizing your bank accounts as well monthly. Savings, I guess you could choose. Investments as well, I probably think monthly. In terms of, I mean, there's different types of investments. So with some other, long-term investments, perhaps not monthly. And with policies, perhaps I'd say half yearly. Look into those and just make sure that you are aware of what's happening. Make sure that you know who's debiting what, when, how, when do the increases take place for your insurance policies, all of these things. Make sure that you are aware of these things. And another, this is the last pro tip for you, is that please, this is a very serious one, make sure that you have a will in place. A will is a document where you state what it is that you would like to happen to your estate. Ideally, you would also name the executor of the will in that document. And you know what, I know a lot of people will say, once again, I'm too busy, or when you hear this, you're like, actually you should do that. Do it now. Stop procrastinating on it. And if you can't get to a bank, because sometimes you can do it with your bank or your lawyer or whatever, actually just tonight go and journal and write it down. Write out what it is that you would desire. Hopefully they find it. But I think one of the things we don't like to think of is that one day we will not be here. And that's the reality. I don't care whether you are in your 20s, 30s, 40s. I think that's the age groups that like to think that they still have time. And you probably do. Hopefully you do. But the reality is that people die every day. And I know this is a bit somber. But the worst part about their death is the confusion and the mess that comes from them not having a will. So please consider having your will drafted. For my random question this week, this is something that a lot of people are divided on, and I would just like to hopefully settle this once and for all. But I suspect that we're going to be divided in the channel on this particular matter, and that is whether or not pineapple is okay on pizza. Personally, I don't understand what pineapple is doing on food. I love pineapple like as a fruit. Like I actually enjoy having pineapple as a fruit, just like cutting it up and having it. It's actually one of my favorite fruits to have. I just don't understand hot pineapple. That's just, I don't get it. Okay, so like I said, a lot of people are divided on this. Let me know, where do you stand? Do you think pineapple is okay on food? Is there a particular food that perhaps you think it might be okay on? I know sometimes they have it on skewers. And what I understand about pineapple with food is that because it has enzymes, it is actually a good meat tenderizer. So I get that, and I probably will have that meat, so you can use the pineapple to tenderize or whatever. Like you can use it to flavor or do whatever with it. Just don't have me eat my food and it has pineapple, because guys, like it's hot, it's soggy. I don't get it. But let me know what you think about this. Are you pro pineapple on pizza in particular? Because apparently this is the one question that divides us. It's not necessarily pineapple on other food items. It's about pineapple being on pizza. So the question is, should pineapple be on pizza? Yes or no? I vote no. Let me know what you vote for. Before I close off this video, I just want to send a special birthday shout out for tomorrow. Actually, on the 8th of October, it's my friend Mandi Samabasu's birthday, and the reason I wanted to do a special shout out on my video is because she's been so supportive. She watches my videos, she's one of the real ones, and I truly appreciate you, friend, and may God bless you and give you all the desires of your heart. I love you so much. That's all from me today. Until next week, do take care. Love and light to you all.